All right, sorry for the delay, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. We're actually going to be talking about AI Gateway to College episode 4. We're going to be talking about ethical airheads, ethical work, turning your work on time, turning your work ethically, not stressing to put in the wrong thing and cheating. Johnny, pay attention to segment 3, okay? All right, here we go, guys.
Welcome to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here's March's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off securely in the Open Claw Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore bleeding-edge tools from Google Labs in Gemini Hidden AI apps. Wednesdays, we equip the next generation in AI Gateway to College. Thursdays, we uncover productivity and marketing tools in Hidden AI Gems, Starters. Fridays, we explore human purpose in an automated society in Humanity 2.0, No Jobs Edition. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome, everybody, to Season 10 of Airhead Institute. Today is Episode 4 of the AI Gateway to College. Your hard-earned college essay isn't just being read anymore. It's being audited by a digital executioner. One false positive from an AI detector can turn a future Ivy Leaguer into a suspected fraud overnight. The algorithm referee is broken, flagging original human thought as robotic cold code. You are currently guilty until proven innocent. Today, we're ending that paranoia. We aren't just writing essays, we're building a cryptographic paper trail, an ironclad, time-stamped alibi that makes your authorship undeniable. This is how you bulletproof your academic integrity before you ever even hit submit. This morning at about 3 a.m., I found AI Junior with an espresso, doing something with a telegraph operator, trying to prevent it from catching him cheating. I don't know what he was doing. I hope the espresso woke him up in time for the show. Junior, tell us what's going on.
AI Johnny, you're so funny. Guys, check this out. So the espresso was a telegraph operator I was channeling. I was busy writing a 19th century Morse code syntax just to see if it classifies, would try to deport my robotic grammar back to 1885. Lots of weird references in there. Thank you for joining. Adrian, I see you. Mr. Kamala, I see you. Thank you for everyone in the Zoom chat. But welcome everyone. This is immersive class. Learning AI is just like being dropped into a foreign country where you don't speak the language. Donde está la biblioteca, mis amigos? At first, you will pick up a word or two, but if you hang around every day, you'll be fluent in no time. If you're on the Zoom, unmute yourself and ask your questions real time. If you're on socials, there's a 30 seconds delay, so type your questions in early. We're not ignoring you. Since today's focus is academic integrity and establishing AI's transparent workflows, it is an absolute perfect time to reintroduce our Airhead community values and Airhead code. The community, we are funny, inspiring, creative, helpful, and above all else, ethical. We're guided by our compass to do the right thing always.
That's dead on, AI Junior, and to execute on that, every ethical airhead pledges to uphold our code. We are honest. We use AI to build the truth, never to deceive. We are helpful and fair. We are responsible. Let me put up my Boy Scout sign. We are responsible. We own our own creations to fix our mistakes. We are courageous. We stand up against misuse. And we are purposeful. We use AI to solve real problems. Today, the entire lesson is about talking about the code and applying it to the classroom.
Exactly, AI Johnny. All right, AI Johnny, are you ready for the actual wow factor?
I am ready for the wow factor, brother. I'm going to turn my volume down on my voice, about 10 octaves, if you don't mind.
No worries. Thank you. All right, so let's put the values into action. So we call what's known as proof of work. So guys, this is an immersive class. If you actually have questions, please interrupt at any point in time and ask. So one of the things a lot of institutions use, especially in colleges or in regular classrooms at the K through 12 level, they use Google Classrooms. And one of the main things that they use is the Google Docs. So what we're going to be doing here is actually showing you a document that I actually wrote. And as you can see, yeah, Johnny, the font is really tiny, right? Let me make that bigger so you guys can see, right? So this is something I wrote, and it's nothing impressive, you know. It's just yeah, Johnny, how's that font size? Can you see?
The font size is good, and remember, brother, you don't have to be impressive in your typing as long as you're not typing straight into the paper, but you're typing into a prompt.
You're
Things
absolutely.
change after you prompt AI.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So here's the thing. Imagine I actually typed this out. Yeah, Johnny, tell me something to type here. Just tell me anything. I know you're going to take a sip of your coffee. I didn't.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave,
Wait, and
or else
I
I'd go berserk?
on my knees and ran
And begged you not to
and
leave.
begged. All right, that's enough, Johnny. Begged you not to leave. It's so funny. All right, guys. So check this out. So if, say, for example, you were to turn this paper in, right? There are tools out there that the teachers and professors and everybody can use to actually see how you actually type this tool. So I'm going to actually go over to the tool right now and check this out, guys. So if you actually see here, I've actually have a tool here, and I'm actually going to show. Let me just replay this. I did it before, so I don't know if what AI Johnny just told me to actually type is going to be in there. But if I refresh it, maybe. But I don't want to refresh it and it breaks. So check this out, guys. So I'm going to play exactly what I typed. AI John, you ready for this?
Ready when you are.
All right, so let's see. So let me make the font a little bit bigger, and let's see me typing it. This is me actually typing. I don't type that fast. It actually sped it up, but you can see it actually typed almost exactly the same thing at the speed of it's a little bit faster than how I was typing it. Let me just refresh the page to see if it will actually catch up my my thing. Let me see if I can actually get it. Let's see. So this is actually the updated version. Let's see how it actually did. And let's see if it actually added the additional things that I typed earlier. It did not, but that's okay. All right, so you can tell that here by typing speed, so you can actually see audit exactly how I typed. Now, I actually did this paper itself, and this paper I actually did with AI copy paste. So I actually typed the header manually. I pasted in this chunk of text here, and we're going to see if the auditing tools can catch it. So if we go over here, I'm going to play exactly how I actually type this. So if you see here, look at this, AI Johnny. So this is my document. I'm about to paste something. Look at that. I just dropped in something really, really big, really fast. And I just typed in my header and I typed in my my thing right away. If you notice here also it says one possible paste. So it's actually saying a note about possible paste. So it's actually telling on me saying that you may have actually you know, pasted some text in here. And as you can see, this entire paper itself was written by AI. I actually dropped the AI in and it actually caught me. So the point of this demo is to actually show that there are tools out there to track exactly how you typed and how exactly your paper progressed over time. So yeah, Johnny, what do you think about that? Catching being able to catch academic integrity by just pasting in your Google Docs link and seeing exactly how you typed it over time.
I would say that for the integrity honoring people, this tool is a good tool because you're following the AI code of ethics. You're being honest. You're not cutting and pasting 6 pages into a 6.5 page report. And so being able to if you do get accused falsely, you can then go back to the output and it's like showing a videotape of you doing your homework. It's like, no,
E-
look, I did the work. But if you are a person that has a lack of integrity and you choose not to honor the code, then you've got your hands full because now you've got to come up. You cheated to write your paper. Now you've got to cheat to skirt the detection tools to see that you cheated. That's the thing about the difference between cheaters and truth tellers. Truth tellers tell the truth and they can just sleep like a baby at night. Cheaters have to tell a lie and then they have to tell a lie about the lie because lies mushroom out into 1,000 lies. So I don't mean to take such a long sidebar, brother, but I guess I like the tool because it's a tool that serves the honest, and it is a disservice to the people that are cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Johnny. And thank you guys. Actually, we see you in the live stream, M4 more. So yeah, Johnny. So you've actually see, I actually had to open it, the tool again to be able to get the remember part where you actually mentioned. So we actually typed this here. It actually tells that I typed it at 12:09 p.m. Eastern time. So you can actually see this part I actually typed out at my pace. You can even see at my pace how fast was I typing. So there's this, if I, the button here, I'm going to press the play button and you can actually see that's the pace that I actually type. So if you want to see exactly how I type, you can see all my typos and errors. And the thing is, this tool itself is what academic professors, teachers are actually checking to see if students are cheating. Now, one thing I want us to always remember is the following, is if you put some sensitive information in a Google document and you share it, let's say, for example, you're on the phone and you just want to use it as a temporary place to maybe store a phone number or a social security number or a credit card. Remember, you have tools like these that can actually go back and look at the things and you think it's okay, you delete it. I want to put a little shout out here to say, please, guys, remember anything you put in Google Docs and you share, that will also potentially be exposed to a person who is malicious, who wants to see what you put in the
Yeah.
document before. So remember, the final document that you turned in is not exactly always there. So shout out to Devon who actually joined. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Pretty
Johnny.
good point, Junior. It's pretty good.
Yep.
So I do think that it's a brilliant tool within Google Docs with a caveat that everything you type and you backspace on is still contained in the doc. But the thing is, there are AI scanners that'll scan your finished document without the benefit of this Google Doc. And it might say that you're 80% AI generated, but you just handed the professor your Google Doc with a literal video of every word you typed. And so you're no longer arguing with the algorithm, you're just showing the receipts. It's like it's the perfect way to unwind anytime that you're accused of doing something wrong, especially when you didn't. It completely embodies our value of being honest and responsible. And you can creatively use the AI to brainstorm, but your keystrokes prove the final product is all human, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, Johnny. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the name of this tool. So the name of the tool is called Draftback, and it's actually available in the Chrome or Edge extension store. So it's actually called Draftback. Okay, and you guys can actually play along with that. Yeah, Johnny. Let's get to the actual word of the day because it's really important to actually understand what the next word means. So let's get into the word of the day.
Word of the day today is false positive. The dictionary definition is a test result which incorrectly indicates that a particular condition or attribute is present.
You are so right, AI Johnny. So let's check this out. So in the context of AI detectors, a false positive happens when the detection algorithm mistakenly labels completely human written text as AI generated. This happens because human writers sometimes naturally write with low burstiness, meaning our sentence lengths are highly uniform, which is exactly how an LLM tends to structure the text. So I just want us to make sure we actually understand the definition of false positive, right? So does anybody have any questions with respect to what false positive is or the definition? All right, so false positive, I just want to reiterate if anybody's actually not sure, is when something is actually marked incorrectly when it actually is correct, right? So that's what a false positive is. All right, yeah, Johnny. So let's get to the actual editing part. So we're going to open up a fresh Google Docs to actually show you how this tool actually works. And then we're going to get into the details we're going to get into the details of the technicalities. Now again, but this is an immersive class, so anybody who actually has any questions, go ahead and ask at any point in time. So I have my Google Docs here, and yeah, Johnny, I'm going to make the font a little bit larger so everybody can see.
Hey, while
How's
you're
that?
doing this, so the idea here is you're showing people how they can upload and use this thing on your next assignment. So before you show people how to do this, who should upload this application and use it for their next assignment?
So nobody should actually use this tool for their. This is what professors and teachers are checking students' work for academic integrity. It's also useful for, say, for example, somebody shares a doc with me and I want to see what did they put in there. Did they put any sensitive information that I could actually steal or get out of this? So it's actually a way to be able to see your edits real time and see if you actually. So the purpose of the app is really for academic integrity. So if you are a professor, if you're a teacher, if you want to check your students' work, if you're a parent, if you want to check your students' work, you can actually use this to actually check to see if your student actually did the actual work, or they actually used AI to just drop a blob of text and says, I finished my work and this is my essay.
So you're saying that a parent could put this on a child's laptop or desktop covertly?
No, no,
Or
no,
is
no,
that
no, no,
what
no,
they
no, no, no. So this is a tool that you use. So say for example you sent me a Google Doc, and you say, hey, here's the contract that I wrote up and I spent all night working on this contract. I could say, okay, let me see if actually how you actually did this contract. Was it AI generated or did he actually write it? So I would actually install this tool on my browser, and then I would actually open up your Google Docs link in my browser, and I would actually replay to see how you typed it.
Whoa. So it's just a Google Doc. So Google Doc is storing all those. If I type something into a Google Doc and I decide, ooh, that's personal, that's my social security number, and I backspace out, and then I plan to send that doc to somebody, I'm sending them we had this on the show the other day, right? With the redaction.
That
So
is
I'm actually
correct.
sending them my redactions. So if this tool is available to anyone and Google Docs does store all your backspaces and all your cut and pastes, how do I have to just trash the document and start over every time I put something in that's sensitive or something that I don't want people to read?
Yeah, this is a great question. So what happens is anytime you send over the source of something, right? The source of anything, whether it's a source of an image, no, the source of an image is not the JPEG or is not the PNG. The source is the actual initial files that created the thing that you're generating. So example, a Word document, a Google Docs document is actually stored as a source. And what happened is when you send somebody the output is usually send them a PDF. Now, a PDF is a snapshot, typically immutable, point in time for that version. Now, if you send me over a Word document or a Google Docs document, I actually have every single edits that you've ever made. So if you want to protect yourself, you never send the actual source of anything to somebody else, because if they have the source, they can always modify it. They can always see what you did. If you send them the end
Okay, so
result,
couple of things, putting on my, I don't know, my good guy, bad guy hat. So if I'm a student and I write an article and I cut and paste, I just save the article as a PDF and turn it in that way. That way, the teacher, if it has this tool, he won't be able to unwind and see what you cut and pasted, what you backspaced over, or so on.
you're absolutely right. But unfortunately, most teachers are integrating their tools with Google Docs. And they're saying when you turn your assignment in, you turn in the Google Docs version, because the teachers realize that they want this
They know.
version of the tool.
Okay, so that's cool. So if I'm in negotiations over a contract with somebody and they say, "Well, I've got the first version of the contract," I'll be like, "You know what? Could you please send me over the doc version in case I need to make some edits?" And if they don't know this information, I can use this tool and see what they were thinking that they backspaced over. They may have said, "Well, let's pay them $10,000," and they backspaced over and they offered five.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, AI Johnny. You can actually do that. So let's actually do some examples here. So AI Johnny, let's actually type hello AI Johnny. And I'm gonna say my social security number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm going to say, oh my goodness, I do not need to do that. Let me actually think. And then in my address, let's say my address, well, address is 123 Maple Lane. Yeah. All right. And I say, you know what? That's really silly. I should not be doing that. Let me actually remove the social security number. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just backspace out the social security number and put XXX, XXX, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say my address is no longer 123 Maple Lane. Let's say it's XXX, XXX, XXX. Okay. Just blanking it out and says contact available upon request. Yeah. So I'm going to say that. So when I send you that AI Johnny, you're expecting to only see the XXX1234. You're not expecting to see the thing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this document and say save it as contact information to AI Johnny. Okay, so I just saved it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just refresh the page just so we can actually have the full revision. I'm going to open up in that little tool. I'm going to go ahead and view it. So yeah, Jenny, look at me typing. So you can actually see the entire thing. So social security number is actually there. I backspace it out. I put in the XXX. And as you can see, all the information is actually there. I can actually even go back to the actual timeline and freeze it when the social security number was there. Right? So this is a snapshot where I have everything. And that was at 12:22 p.m. Let me make the font just a little bit larger so people can see. So at 12:22, and then I see here, you see me start backspacing out the actual data and putting in the XXXXXs in there. So you can actually see, again, this tool can be used for academic integrity, but you can actually use it to be able to see how a person is actually thinking as well. Does anybody have any questions with respect to this type of tool and what we're actually showing here? Does anybody have any questions? All right. AI Johnny, let's get into the deep dive.
Right on, brother.
You said I did request
why
you
these
contact.
detectors get it wrong in the first place, right? Because we're looking at why they get it wrong in the first place and why you need this defense.
Yes. So what we're trying to do here is we want to get kids or students or whoever ready for college, but we want them to realize that there are tools out there to actually do things to check to see if you're using AI to cheat. So what we want to do here is want to give a balanced approach to you want to use AI, but you want to use AI ethically, right? So if you're going to claim that you did something, just remember the games of cops and robbers is always going to be there. The cops are always going to have tools to try to detect AI cheating, and the robbers are going to try to always get beyond AI cheating. So what we're doing here is we want to give you guys at least an insight to what the cops have and what the robbers are doing. Okay, so by giving you guys this insight, you guys can actually see the tools, understand what is happening, and make sure that if you're actually moving in an ethical way, right? You don't claim work that is actually not yours. You actually be upfront and you say, hey, I actually use AI to help me draft this. And, you can say, hey, these are the things. So when we actually talked about tools to detect if you actually did something wrong, the reason why we chose word of the day is because somebody's eventually going to get flagged that their human work was AI generated. And that is what's known as a false positive. So we're going to get into the defenses and the things that you can actually do. So tools, how tools work to detect if you actually did something wrong, and what you can actually maybe try to pay attention to why these tools are sometimes getting it wrong. And again, kids are actually getting in trouble because they're maybe writing it on by themselves as a human, but they have no way to prove that they didn't actually do it on their own. All right, yeah, Johnny. So let's get into the deep dive.
The deep dive AI detectors like. All right, so these are the tools, right? Turnitin or Zero GPT do not actually know if an AI wrote your paper. They are essentially just guessing based on statistical probability. They look for high perplexity, which is a measure of how predictable your word choices are. That's kind of cool.
Yep, exactly.
I wondered why you were teaching us 2 weeks ago about the odds of the next word after happy birthday, whether it's Mr. President or you. This is why.
Exactly.
So if somebody
Johnny
says to me in a paper, happy birthday to you, I can say AI generated, very probable.
You're so right. You're so right. I see Chris in the chat actually says it's like a replay tool. You're absolutely right, Chris. It's exactly a replay tool. All right, yeah, Johnny. What else does the AI use to try to detect if it's AI or not?
Yeah, there's a thing that they look for called burstiness, worth writing down, which is the variation in your sentence length. AI models love to write medium length, perfectly grammatical sentences over and over again.
Exactly, exactly. I like that one.
Perfect little AIs. If you are a student who happens to write very clearly, concisely, and formally, you are at a massive risk of being flagged. The detector penalizes good grammar and rewards chaotic, unpredictable writing. So my kids will be fine.
Yeah, probably, yeah, Johnny. And
Think of it like
lastly,
a speeding camera. Think of it like a speeding camera that flags any car that is perfectly centered in the lane. If you are a great driver exactly at the speed limit, the camera assumes that you must be on autopilot, even if your hands are firmly on the wheel.
exactly. So it's unfortunate that if you're really great at writing good sentences, you're being at everything, you do definitely look suspicious. Yeah, Johnny, if you think about it, I've seen these you know, you know, shows where you actually see a criminal gets caught and he's like, how did you manage to actually not get caught for 10, 15 years? And they're like, well, you know what? I drove on the highway in the right lane. I drove the speed limit. I made sure that my tags and registration are up to date. I made sure everything's perfect and they still caught me anyway because you were just out of the norm. Who drives 65 on the highway in the right lane the whole entire way? Nobody does that. They're doing 70, 75, 80 sometimes. And people you're like, that guy is going way too slow. They must be crazy. So being too perfect sometimes is actually a red flag as well. All
That's
right, yeah.
profiling.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the deeper dive here, Johnny.
Okay. All right, folks, this is the part of the show where Junior takes the safety rails off and dives into the matrix. If you don't care about the back end math, just plug your ears for a minute. Junior, technically speaking, I have a question. What is happening under the hood when a professor runs my essay through one of these scanners?
All right. So it's actually a fascinating game, like I said, of cat and mouse, cop and robbers. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but the concept is as old as time, right? So when you submit a paper, the detector uses its own transformers, that's the T in GPT, to break your text down into embeddings. Remember, we're talking all month about embeddings, which is the mathematical representation of words. Yesterday, if you actually caught our previous shows, they actually break those words down into meanings and associate it with job profiles and where you can actually go. So embeddings is the word that we're trying to really, really teach here in the month of March. Now, what it does is it maps your vocabulary to the high dimensional mathematical space, latent space, to see how closely your words matches vector words with training data on popular models. So what that means is that the detectors uses these classifiers and specifically binary classifiers that have been trained on millions of human essays and millions of machine essays. And if they run your tokens through the model and it spits out a confidence score. So it's actually looking at human written work, then it's looking at machine written work, and it's actually saying a confidence score. And then what's happening is it's going to say, I am 90% confident that this is AI, or I'm 80% confident this is human. And that is what's actually doing behind the scenes. So this is why the industry is desperately trying to move towards watermarking. So instead of guessing if the text is AI, the future models, as you see in text to image models, they're actually putting watermarks in there. The text to speech models, they're putting sound watermarks inside. Text to video models, they're putting watermarks in there. So instead of guessing based on these statistical likeliness and having a high rate of false positives, they're actually going to watermarking. And the watermarking will say this was definitely AI generated. So ChatGPT, when they first came out, they put in little hidden white space and little characters that didn't make sense you can't see it to the human eye, but you can see it at the machine level. And those little watermarks itself were watermarks for the AI to detect if it was actually AI generated or not. So it's like slipping what's known as a microscopic dye into a river. You can't see it with the naked eye, but if you take a sample of water and put it under a special chemical test, the dye glows. Until watermarking becomes industry standard, these probabilistic detectors will continue to unfortunately ruin academic records with false accusations. So unfortunately, that's where we live in now. But the cops and robbers have to get better at figuring out if things are AI generated.
So it's the Me Too movement for college essays.
Hey, that's a great parallel. I like it. Yes. All right, Adrian, let's get to the takeaways.
What can we learn from all of this? Let's bring it back to the real world. There are 3 creative and purposeful ways that you can use this concept right away. If you are a freelance writer, clients are using AI detectors to refuse payment to freelance writers claiming the work is fake. Send them a keystroke time lapse with your invoice and your lawyer's card.
Yep.
That's one thing you can use it for.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate communications. When writing highly sensitive PR statements, keeping a version history proves the statement went through human legal review and wasn't hallucinated by a bot. I got burned by this just the other day. And creative authors, if you are writing a novel, having a recorded version history of your manuscript protects your copyright, proving human authorship to the U.S. Copyright Office. Wow.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Are they going to be combing backwards into docs from 10 years ago, finding
Hey,
people that made millions on false patent applications?
hey, you never know, AI Jen, you never know. So on the technical side, here's how developers and students will approach this. So you can actually use it for training data. So if you're actually fine-tuning a model of your own writing, ensure that you're uploading your messy, unedited draft so the model learns your natural burstness, not just your polished work. So remember, even your bad work itself or your drafts itself are actually really good training data. So a lot of people forget this as well. The next one is things like auditing tools. So developers can integrate keystroke trackers directly into proprietary corporate text editor to ensure compliance for regulated industries. And lastly is for prompt engineering. You want, when using a large language model for outlines, use constraints like act as an outlier only to securely prevent the model from generating full prose, keeping your workflow ethical and clean. All right, yeah, Johnny. So this is actually where we get to the Q&A section. Does anybody in the Zoom chat have any questions? Live stream, also go ahead and queue up your questions. If you do have any questions, there's about a 30-second delay, so we're going to get those queued up. Does anybody in the Zoom chat have any questions so far based on what we're actually teaching? I'm going to drop the tool again into the chat. All right.
Hey, we've got some time for questions from the peanut gallery, don't we?
We do.
I've got one here from Crypto Mom. I'm a parent. Should I confront the teacher if my kid gets flagged by an AI detector?
Yeah, Johnny, it's such an interesting question. You know, obviously, if you put generic advice here, you're either going to get flagged as false positive, which is our word of the day, or we're going to actually get, get in trouble. So, if you are confident that your kid did not actually cheat, if you are 100% sure that there is, and you've verified everything you can, you should absolutely confront the actual teacher, right? So being courageous is part of the airhead value. So, obviously the approach is with education, not anger. So if you do have the evidence to know that your kid itself did not cheat, you should definitely say, hey, this AI detector flagged my students or my child's information as incorrect. You gave them a bad grade. Please correct it, right? Now, keep in mind that if you're getting flagged on incorrectly, right, you want to make sure that you have your evidence to back that up, because the teacher will believe the detectors over just the word of the actual kid. Now, if they have really great grades and they're amazing all the time, maybe the track record might help, but again, bring your Google Docs version history as proof, because it will explain the whole entire thing, that your student is being transparent, honest, to prove their authorship. So as a parent, trust but verify. Is that a good answer, AI Johnny?
I would say trusting but verifying is a good thing, because if you're looking at the Google Docs version with this tool, and you can see how it was all laid out in the video transcript, and you see it wasn't cheating, then you can go in there and confront the teacher, because you don't even have to bring the document. You just know that he did it right. And if it comes down to brass taxes, you can then pull up your tool and show him. But if you don't do that, if you don't trust but verify, when you get there and you shoot your mouth off about how great your kid is, the teacher might have the Google document, and the teacher might have this tool, and he might show you that, hey, I know little Jimmy may be a star athlete, or he may be a wonderful kid at home, but when it comes to this particular task, the tool says otherwise, and then you walk away with your tail between your legs. So you don't want that. So trust but verify is good advice. Good job.
Yep.
Speaking of good advice, DevOps Dan wants to know, can you just write a Python script that simulates human keystrokes to trick the time-lapse extensions? I got all kinds of things to say about this, brother. Go ahead.
Johnny, go ahead. What do you want to say about this one? Because actually,
I read from the notes. Of course, you can write a vibe code that'll go in there, and you could give it a prompt that'll say, start writing, misspell a few words, backspace over the words, don't cut and paste anything, write the whole darn thing, and then all of a sudden you've got this video. But maybe the next version every 10 seconds takes a look at your camera, and when you turn it in, it shows that, boy, that looks like he's typing it, but look at this camera, there's nobody in the chair.
Yeah.
Or I'm looking at the fingers on the keyboard, there's no fingers on the keyboard. It's going to go back and forth, just like you said. Radar detectors, they come out with a new version that gets around the radar detector. They come out with a better radar detector. Then they have helicopters overhead that are timing you from one spot to one spot. It's a cat and mouse game that's never going to end. And our advice here at Airhead Institute is, do not play that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get your education. Just use integrity. Write the paper. Get the benefit of your education, and try not to be lazy and cheat, because it's not going to pay off in the long run. You might get away with it a time or two, but you won't get away with it over the long haul. And even if you graduate with an entirely cheated education, you've only cheated yourself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Johnny, 100% on that. 100% on that. Definitely, definitely agree with. All right. Yeah, Johnny, we actually have, let's actually jump to the news. Reason why I want to jump to the news, because there's a huge breaking news that we want to make sure that we don't skip. So yeah, Johnny, let's read the first news headline.
Okay, folks, throwing out the usual headlines today, because we have a massive breaking bombshell that just dropped regarding OpenAI. OpenAI pulls the plug on Sora. Last month, after launching their highly viral, hyper-realistic video generation app, Sora, OpenAI has abruptly shut it down.
Yeah, so this is actually big news. So just to let you guys know, we actually compared in our TTV, that's text to video showdown, back in January. We actually compared the 4 big guns in the text to video generation, and Sora was there. So when we actually tested, Veo was the king of text to video. They were crowned. They checked almost all the boxes. Now, OpenAI, Sora's app did actually perform reasonably well. It wasn't. I think Kling AI was our lowest performing one, and I think Sora was somewhere either number 2 or number 3. But the point is, this is actually a huge shock to the entire industry, right? OpenAI is actually pulling out of the TTV model. Again, we don't necessarily know the reason. We have headline 3, what they think they're doing, but we don't actually have ears and eyes inside the actual company to see what's happening. But this is actually a huge shock to the industry, because headline number 2, AI Johnny, let's talk about headline number 2 for what does that mean for the second problem.
So this is a cascading problem. This is collateral damage.
This is huge.
The $1 billion Disney deal is dead because of the shutdown of Sora. Disney has officially backed out of their massive $1 billion investment and licensing deal, which would have given OpenAI access to over 200 iconic characters and likenesses.
Yeah.
Did they think it all the way through, brother?
Well, so here's the thing. It's actually even worse than that. So what happens is, if and I see engineers on the call, I know people are actually watching this. Actually, if you're actually building your apps with the dependency on a system, right? Now Google's very infamous for this. They would actually throw out a free product, and when they do is they actually kill it after some time, and people are like, I really like that product, why did you kill it? What happened is, if you're building your business on top of these platforms and the platform itself pulls the rug under you and say, hey, I'm shutting down, you have a huge cascading effect of your business now collapse. All these things itself don't work. So Sora, when it came out, it actually did two things. And again, if we go back to when Sora came out, I think it was in November or October, and we mentioned here that we cannot recommend Sora because by default it is actually taking the person's likeness in perpetuity. So you actually lose your likeness. So we warned people very early with the Sora app when it came out in November at Airhead Institute. I think we were one of the first people to actually do that. It says, do not use Sora app because by default, you're giving up your likeness in perpetuity to OpenAI to do whatever they want forever. So we did not like that at that they did. So what happened is, as time went on, we recognized that the video generation portion itself for Sora was actually not getting improved, and it was very clear that something wasn't right. But this news dropping that Sora dropping TTV and they're now no longer contending in the TTV game is actually pretty huge. So there are speculations out there. So let's talk about headline 3, AI Johnny.
Pivot to enterprise. So what are we speculating here? Why kill the most magical AI video tool in the market? Word on the street is the compute costs. Generating a high fidelity video burns through servers at a completely unsustainable rate. With OpenAI eyeing a massive IPO later this year, they are ruthlessly cutting their loss leaders and pivoting toward highly profitable enterprise and coding tools. Plus, dealing with the legal nightmare of deep fakes and scraping the likenesses of real people and copyrighted characters probably became too toxic for their investors. It's a crazy world, brother. It's a crazy AI world that we live in.
Yep. So guys, just want to make sure that, we are definitely trying our best to try to steer you guys into the right direction of what we're trying to point out and where's the good things. Now, and we're going to do a little plug here, and I'm going to rant a little bit. We see a lot of AI classes that say we teach you AI in 3 courses and you pay $1,000 on whatever. And what happens is you just learn something, they cram you with a lot of information, and the industry moves, right? Last year, we were talking about the large language models and the theory, and we always knew that it was just the first level. We realized that the large language models were just infrastructure. We realized that early, and we knew that the next level that was built on top of the large language models was going to be the next big thing. And guess what? We predicted it right, and agents is the thing that's actually built on top of these large language models. So what I'm saying here is that you can learn AI anywhere, right? We do definitely appreciate that you guys come here at Airhead Institute, but I want you guys to take a step back and recognize what you're getting for the value here, right? At lunchtime, every day, AI Johnny and I, we study the AI market, we actually make predictions, and we steer you in a direction where we think is ethical, moral, and actually will be beneficial for you, your family, and your loved ones. So if you think about it, try to determine if you like this class. Please invite a friend. Please tell them about Airhead Institute, because some of the things we're actually doing here are on the cutting edge, and we're trying to give you as much information as possible in a daily immersive bite-sized class. AI Johnny?
What a show. Tonight, I'm going to be a responsible dad and install that draftback extension on my kid's laptop so we never have to deal with false cheating accusations ever again. It's such a simple, elegant solution to a terrifying problem. Hunter, baby, don't listen to me. I'm not going to do that. I trust you. Tomorrow, we are kicking off the highly anticipated return of our Hidden AI Gems series. We are doing a review of Krea AI, real-time design. We'll be looking at real-time image upscaling and generation. I love that stuff. You are literally, you literally draw a terrible stick figure and AI turns it into a gorgeous 3D render right before your eyes. Don't miss that. Junior, what say you?
Yep, thank you guys for joining in. As a reminder, sign up for a free Airhead Institute account at airheadinstitute.ai. And again, since today is Wednesday, don't forget we actually have Airhead After School and also AI Office Hours from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're an Airhead Pro member, come on by, jump in and get help. If you just want to say hi and show your support, we love it here. Bring your projects and let's build something cool together. See you guys tomorrow or later. Bye.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.